Hi everybody, I'm here today to show you how I use Spoonful.com's PDF printables to create and cut things on my Silhouette Cameo cutter machine. It's really easy and Spoonful.com has so many really cute PDFs, Disney PDFs that you can download and print. Now, I have Scarlett's second birthday party coming up, and we're doing a Winnie the Pooh party because she's obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. So I'm just going to click here in this little search window, search for Winnie the Pooh printables, and I was shocked to find out how many they have. There's 50 printables here. So one that I found, let's scroll down here and I'll show you. The one that I found that I'm going to show you guys today is this one, the Pin the Tail on Eeyore printable, and I thought that would probably be really cute for her birthday party. So basically what I thought I could do with my silhouette is I thought I could probably get these tails cut out and then I wouldn't have to cut them out by hand and they'd look like professional die cut tails. And the other thing I thought you could do with this, if you are a scrapbooker or something like that, you could make really easy little cute Eeyore tail die cuts that could go on your scrapbook pages for maybe like when you met Eeyore or something like that. So cutting on your silhouette cutter has lots of different uses. But anyway, okay, so right here I'm going to download the Pin the Tail on Eeyore template. I'm just going to go ahead and right click and download linked file as. I'm going to save it to my desktop and I'm just going to call this the Eeyore Tails. Go ahead and save that. Then I can close my Safari. Here it is right here on my desktop. I'm just going to double click it. And as you can see, this PDF is a 6-page PDF, and all the first 4 pages are the big Eeyore that you can print and cut out, put together for your wall to pin the tail on. But really what we want to focus on is this 5th page, which is these tails. Now, if you didn't need very many tails, or if you're doing this with some other PDF that you downloaded from Spoonful, or any PDF actually, you could just use this page as is. But I want to just fill my page with as many tails as possible, so I just want one tail. The easiest way for me to do this, I found, in using the Silhouette Studio program, is just to crop that tail right here in my preview application. Now I'm using a Mac and I don't know what the default application will be when you open a PDF on a Windows computer. I'm not really sure, but hopefully you can do this same thing on your PC. But I go to my select tool. Sorry, I just did this select tool, select around that tail. Then I can go here to tools and crop, or you can just do Command K, and that's going to crop that page of the PDF to just that one tail. And that's going to be the easiest way to use it. The good thing about cropping a PDF is it doesn't damage your original PDF file. You can always go back and see the regular page because it's really easy. If you just go to View, PDF Display, you can go back to Media Box and it will show you. You can see I have that whole page back. But like I said, we just want to crop that one. So we're going to go crop that one more time. Oops, and I missed the top of it. Let's stretch that out a little bit. There we go. And again, I'm just going to hit Command K. And there's my cropped thing. So now I'm going to click on my page 5 that I want, and I'm going to drag it onto my Silhouette Studio icon, and that's actually off screen. You're not going to be able to see that because it's on my other monitor, my dock. But anyway, it opens it up automatically into my Silhouette Studio program. So here's my little tail. And now what we need to get it to do is to do a cut line around the outside of my tail. We got to tell the silhouette where to cut. So it's really easy. We're just going to go here to this little icon on top, which is a trace icon. Then we're going to select trace area. I'm going to drag around my tail. And I'm actually going to zoom in and show you guys something. On this particular image, the yellow line is where it's showing you the trace has taken place and where the cut lines will be. But you can see that my yellow lines don't quite line up, meet up, sorry. They don't meet up. They're a little jaggedy. And if I clicked trace outer edge right now, well, I'll show you what happens. You get all these little trace lines that you don't want. I don't want all this line. I just want a smooth, kind of like this. I want a smooth outline around my whole tail. So I'm going to just undo, and go back to where I was tracing. Okay, so what I found the easiest way to do is just to take this high pass filter slider and slide it all the way up. Then I can make sure all my yellow lines are connected. Then I can just go to trace outer edge, and just like that, I have an outer edge around my tail. Perfectly, it's going to cut perfectly around my tail. I'm going to click undo to put that back up there. Now I'll zoom back out. So now I've got my perfect cut line around my tail, and now what I need to do is do a basic print and cut. And if you've never done a print and cut, there are great tutorials online. I'll try and link up in my article here on Capturing Magic to some good print and cut tutorials. But I'll show you kind of how I do mine, just real basically. If it doesn't make sense to you, maybe go back and watch some of those other print and cut tutorials that go more in depth on how to do it. But, oh, that's not true. I ignore that because I've had that thing pop up for me before, and it is not true. So if it says you have a low resolution, this is a high resolution PDF from Spoonful, so I can just go ahead and ignore that. Okay, now what we need to do is go over here to our page, and we are going to use an 8.5 by 11. Let's get this to go away here. There we go. An 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, because I'm not printing on a 12 by 12. I'm printing on 8.5 by 11. And since I am doing print and cut, I want to make sure that my registration marks are showing. So I click the second icon over from the right and click Show Registration Marks. Now, registration marks, if you've done a print and cut, you'll know that they are there to tell your cutter where, the Silhouette Cameo, to where to cut, basically. It helps your machine line up with your print so that you can get a real precise cut right around the edges of your image. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure both my cut line and my image are selected. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this so that it will fit within my registration marks. And that grade hashtag area, you can't print on the outside of that for a print and cut. It won't, your Silhouette won't let you. And it's okay that my tails are a little smaller. I don't care that they're not the full page size. That's okay with me. Now, basically, I want to be able to fit 3 on a page. So I'm going to skip those steps on how to duplicate and stuff like that. That's kind of Silhouette 101, and I don't want to get into all that here on this tutorial. But I learned that through watching other tutorials. But anyway, so I'm going to skip ahead and show you what I already did. Basically, I rotated and duplicated my tail so that I could get 3 on a page. So I got 1 more extra tail than I would have gotten on just using the PDF as it comes. Which, if that's not a big deal to you, then like I said, you can always use the PDF just exactly as it comes. But this is just a little bit better way for me, if I can get 3 on a page. Okay, so now I've got my cut lines and my images, and I'm ready to do my print and cut. Now, if I had a good home printer, I could just print my page right from here and then send it to my Silhouette to be cut. But I don't have a good home printer. For one thing, my printer is broken. And even if it wasn't broken, it's still not a good enough print for me. I think it looks like you printed at home. It's not like a professional print. And I want to send mine to be professionally printed so that these come back looking like real die cuts that I would have like bought at a store or something. So how I do this is I go to Send to Printer. I go, instead of hitting print, because I don't want to print, I can't print, I go to PDF, get this little drop down menu, and I save as PDF. Now I'll save it to my desktop, that's just fine. I'll get this Silhouette out of there, and I'm actually going to name mine Print Your Tails, because that way it just helps me to know that this is the one I want to print, and it's the PDF. So then I click save, and it's gonna, I already have this saved because I've done it already once, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and it's processing, trying to save, and once it's saved, then I've got a PDF on my desktop ready to be printed, and I can send that to, I do mine at a local print shop, but you can do it at Kinko's or Staples or wherever. I print mine on white cardstock, and it comes back looking fabulous. Now here is the big tip. the big key of sending your prints to be done somewhere else. If you do send yours out, you have to make sure to tell them to print at 100%, not at fill to printable area. If they print to printable area, it will shrink or enlarge your image to a different size, and then your silhouette will not be able to read the registration marks and cut precisely in the right spot. This took me about 2 hours to figure out, and I was about ready to pull my hair out because I told my printer to print at 100%, but they didn't, and they filled to printable area, which actually shrunk my image down just by a tad, where it wasn't very noticeable to me just right off the bat when I looked at my prints. I couldn't really tell. But because it was a little bit smaller, my silhouette couldn't read those registration marks, and it couldn't find the spot to cut. So make sure you tell your printer to print at 100%. So, okay, now we're going to go ahead and save the studio file. Actually, I already saved mine, but you can go ahead and save your studio file, so then your print and your cut lines are saved, so that when it's being printed or whatever, you can go ahead and close it. I'll also name this Eeyore Tales Studio. That's fine. It's going to ask me to replace it because I already saved once. But so now it's saved, and I can go ahead and get my print done. When I have my prints back from the printer, I'll open this eeyoretales.studio file again, and I'm ready to cut. So you want to lay your paper from the printer out on your cutting mat, just like it shows here. Sometimes when you do the print and cut, it'll have you lay it out a different way, so make sure you pay attention to how it's telling you to lay it onto your cutting mat. And now you go just do a regular cut. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to my silhouette. It says that you're using registration marks, so that you want to do a print and cut job. I click here to skip printing because I already printed. I set it up on my loading mat, or my cutting mat, sorry, and I load it just like a normal cut. Go ahead and continue. I have mine already loaded here next to me. Now the part about print and cut, you have to make sure to detect your registration mark. So I'm going to click detect automatically. You'll hear my silhouette. My silhouette is currently feeding my mat through the machine to try and find those registration marks. You can hear it going, and as soon as it has found the registration marks, it kind of adjusts itself to make sure it's ready to cut that precise line. I'm going to change my settings because I'm not using print paper. I have found that if I use this patterned paper setting, it cuts my white cardstock perfectly. So I have set my blade to 3 already. That's already done. I know I like this speed. I know I like this thickness for my cardstock, so it's all good. I don't need to do a test cut. I know I've already done this before, so I know it's good. Then I'm going to go ahead and click cut. And it's going to cut I'm not going to click that now because then you'll have to sit here and listen to my machine cut it, but go ahead and click cut. Your machine will start and it will cut a precise exact line around your Eeyore tails, and you don't have to cut them out by hand, and they're perfect and they look great. I'll add some pictures into my video here maybe if I can figure that out and show you what my Eeyore tails look like. And how well they turned out. The silhouette amazes me that it can cut so precisely around my printable little cute Eeyore tail. And the great thing is these images were free. I didn't have to buy anything from the Silhouette store. I didn't have to buy any sort of cartridge or anything. I just downloaded that free thing that spoonful.com offered me for free. And I have these cute tails that I can use for Scarlett's birthday party for a cute pin the tail on Eeyore game. Hope that was helpful to you guys, and good luck using your silhouette to create Disney magic.